What's up everybody, Ramey here, and today what we're doing is we're talking about the bulletproof VTS Lite. I have now had this for a total of 5 days, so this video is going to be more of my initial first impressions. Over the course of 5 days, I have used this for bench press, incline press, calf raises, squats, deadlift, Romanian deadlift, calf raises, overhead press, rows. I've been using it for every single exercise I possibly can, so I can get a feel for the thing, so I can give you like my initial impressions. I bought this, so let's talk about the VTS Lite, what it is. So this is a Smith machine attachment for your rack. As you can see, I'll just do a rep here so you can kind of get a feel for what it looks like for those that haven't seen it. Basically, yeah, it's a Smith machine. Attaches your barbell to your rack and allows you to do Smith machine movements. All right. So let's talk about it. So let's start from square one and go to where I am today. So first of all, I pre-ordered this day one, first day I could get it. They have two options. They have the full VTS, which is heavier, bigger, more expensive, but will allow for future attachments. I opted for the VTS Lite, which is lighter, a little smaller, won't hold as many attachments, but really is designed for the people that just want a Smith machine, which is what I wanted. So I opted for the VTS Lite. I paid $4.99 for the VTS Lite day one pre-order. I probably had ordered this within minutes of it being released because I had been waiting for it. So I pre-ordered it day one. I just got it August of 2020. So I ordered it in late December, maybe early January, whenever the pre-orders went up, and got it 8 months later. That was completely expected. That was what they initially said. So I was okay with the time it took for development and delivery and everything like that. But I am happy that I finally got it. All right, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about setup and everything in use and kind of what I think, who I think this is for, who I think this is not for. So first of all, I have a Titan Series upright. I have this attached to Titan Series uprights. And my rack is also 48 inches wide, which means Titan Series width. For those who have other racks, Rep is 1 inch smaller at 47 width, and Rogue is 1 inch longer at 49. So this is kind of the in-between. All right, so I have this on a 3x3 upright, 1 inch holes. Let's talk about the boxing. Package, I'll show a picture here. Package came really well boxed, pretty small box, like not too big, almost like 2 by 1, 2 feet by 1 foot, something like that, maybe 8 inches high, something like, not too bad. So came pretty, and the unit itself comes put together, so you don't really need to put anything together, which is nice and kind of cool. So putting it together, basically, so for the VTS Lite, you do not need to take apart the top. You literally just slide this onto the upright. Now, and then screw in like the back rollers. Very easy process, but my first roller that I put on took me about 40 minutes, mostly because I didn't really know what I was supposed to be doing. There wasn't really, I guess I didn't search around to see if there was a video yet on how to put this thing together. But what I should have done, for those of you who are doing it, is A, you use a band peg. You can see on the VTS Lite there's these nice big stoppers underneath. Use a band peg for support, and it rests right on it, and it allows you to very easily screw in the back. It's kind of interesting. On the back plate, which I'll show, there's these little screws, and you can actually push the roller so that it's nice and perfectly set on your upright, like nice and not too tight, but not loose either, so it like nice smooth glide on your upright. You can kind of set it really nice. So I recommend for those when you buy it, have a band peg, because you're going to need a band peg to put this together. So the first one of these took about like 40 minutes for me to get on, which is really ridiculous. And I was like, oh, this is crazy. I'm never going to take these off. Second one literally took 5 minutes to get on because I knew what I was doing. So once you know what you're doing, it's one of those, this whole device is one of those devices, it's kind of like buying a new car. It's not like super straightforward at first, but once you like figure out the process, it's actually really easy to use. So I knew use a band peg, lay it on the band peg, able to screw it on really easily. All right, so let's actually get it off of the unit, and I'll kind of show you how you use the thing. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set it on the band pegs. This will allow me to really easily get the bar on and off. All you do is unclip it. Once you unclip it, you can see that this lifts up. One of the interesting things about this device is there's so many like screws, and things that you can do and pull out, and the whole entire device literally feels like it just comes apart. Lift it up, and I've got my bar off. All right, we're just taking our bar off for a second, because what I want to show you guys is the device itself. So this is it off. When I pick it up, so this is one of the things I want to talk about. So each of these units weighs 15 pounds. So picking it up, lifting it, it's literally like me picking up 15 pounds. That's what it feels like. So when you put your bar onto this device, we're talking about a 45-pound bar plus 15 plus 15. So we're talking like 75 pounds. So one of the things that I noticed when using this is that it's pretty heavy. It's kind of heavy. So your warm-up's not 45 pounds, your warm-up is 75 pounds. So I think that's kind of a big deal for some people. Every time I use this, the minimum weight's 75 pounds going up and down. Usually on a Smith machine, the weight is actually less, but on this, you're actually pulling up on the unit itself. So yeah, it's 75 pounds. So my wife wouldn't be able to use this. I mean, she's already got a belly bar that's shorter and she barely puts any weight on it. So that's her maxing. I guess she can use it for squats, but that is the weight of the unit. So that's one disadvantage of the thing. Next disadvantage is while changing bars is sort of easy, you saw that I literally just flipped this down. The hooks on the bar are actually clamped on. So you actually need to I would need to take this bar off and re-put hooks on. I'll show you what that looks like right here. So you can see what the hooks look like. You gotta clamp it on the bar, put it down, screw it on. So it does take 30 seconds to a minute to switch bars. So, and there are a few other adjustments for wider bars and stuff, but you can see it came with hooks. This is for a safety squat bar, so it would work with a wider bar. The bar that I have in here right now is a standard Ohio bar, 28.5 millimeters. All right, so that's kind of the switching bars thing. Do I think that I would switch bars mid-workout? I gotta admit that I think it'd be kind of a pain to switch bars mid-workout. I think that's one of the disadvantages of this unit. I don't know that I'd switch bars mid-workout. The other thing is that 0 of my specialty bars, like my Rogue Force EGN, my Titan multi-grip bar, and my Titan safety squat bar, none of them actually fit in the unit. They only don't fit in the unit because of the width of my rack. So my Titan safety squat bar is too small. I think it would potentially fit in a rep rack because it's 47 inches. The Rogue MG multi-grip bar and my Titan multi-grip bar, neither of them fit in this, but they would fit in a Rogue rack because you actually need wider. So kind of interesting that my middle fits none. I think Rep would fit the safety squat bar. I think Rogue would fit. I have confirmed that Rogue does fit the Rogue multi-grip bar. So just if you're thinking about multi-grip bars in this, it's not guaranteed that they're gonna fit. You're taking a chance. It will, however, fit a standard barbell, which is what I wanted it for. All right, let me get this back on and talk about some of the other things about this. All right. And I'm just kind of leaving the video on so you can kind of see me using this in real time, see what it's like to set it all up, put it together. All right. So one of the things that I've noticed, so let's talk about use now. So that's setting it up and stuff. That's kind of some boring stuff, which of course you got to set it up. So switching bar, I talked about switching bars, that I really had some issues switching bars. It's not a simple, easy process. Taking these on and off, I think I would never take these actual rollers on and off during a workout. I mean, even if each one's only 5 minutes, that's 10 minutes. I'm not doing that during a workout. So like, kind of what I've gotten to the point with this unit before I talk about its use is that I'm never taking this off the rack. I'm never taking the bar off the rack. This is all just a permanent thing on my rack. So I kind of have gotten to the point where, yes, this is a permanent thing. Could I take the bar off each time and that would be easy, especially if I'm using the same bar and keeping the hooks? Absolutely, that would be easy. But for me, I have 100-inch uprights, so I can literally just lift this up top, hook it up top, and I can walk under it and it's not in my way. So I can move this out of the way. If you have like an 80 or 90-inch rack, you might need to take the bar off each session kind of thing. All right, so let's talk about use. Use is actually super smooth. It's really nice. It's very smooth. It feels just like any other Smith machine. You can see it does, there is a little wobble here when you do this and purposely move like side to side, but in use, it doesn't do that at all. It's perfectly straight, perfectly good movement. I did not have any issues with any movement. Deadlift, squat, bench, incline press, no issues with any movement. Actually felt really good for all of them. Felt really smooth. I mean, I had to adjust my body because it's a Smith machine a little bit to like figure out the right place to stand or sit or have my bench, but like it was smooth. One thing I will say for deadlift is this device is not meant to be dropped. So I was very careful on my deadlift just to do a very controlled weight, just to test out the motion. But it did work. It's just not a device meant to be dropped. Other thing I noticed in use, so one of my uprights had like a little like scratch in it, and the scratch was producing some like shrapnel to be sticking out, and I could feel it in my hand. I could feel the vibration of the scratch. So I actually had to file down my upright a little bit on that one piece where the scratch was to make my upright smooth. Simple process, again, just something to think about. Okay, so it is smooth. Now, let's talk about the other parts of use. Safety is a big one that I want to talk about. So, when using this, one of the things I noticed pretty quickly, now when I put this on the bar, I try to align it so that my hooks are right at my holes. And I'll just do a set here to show you guys what I'm talking about. So, when I'm done with my set, I go to put this in, and notice if I hit here, it's not up. So you have to really kind of like play with where your hooks are, and you have to visually, I really like to visually inspect where they are, because it'd be very easy to A, miss your hooks and have it drop, or B, only have one hook in and not the other. So I'm a big fan. Every time I've used this, I kind of learned right away, use the band pegs. These are your safety spotters with this device. I mean, you can use regular safety spotters too, of course, but this literally safety spotter is designed to sit right on the device. It's the perfect safety spotter for this. Absolutely perfect. Now, that brings an interesting point into this device. How does it work with a 5/8 inch holes? Most racks with 5/8 inch holes, A, don't have holes going up the sides. I know the newest Rep 4000 does, but other racks do not. So you're not going to have a lot of options for side holes, for spotters. And B, putting these into a big hole, like I've missed a couple times. So putting these into a small hole, I don't know how, I haven't tried it, so I don't know. It just seems like it's going to be harder. Now I know the Bulletproof Fitness does have some kind of safety spotter for 5/8 inch hole people that goes forward. I don't know what it looks like. I don't even get it because I have a 1-inch rack. But it's an interesting thing to think about for you people with 5/8. Like, how well is this going to work with their racks? I don't know. I haven't seen the reviews yet for a 5/8 inch rack version, so I have no idea. So that's an interesting consideration to think about. All right, so let's talk about this at the current price of $599. Do I wish I would have, am I glad I got it? Would I buy it now knowing what I know? And should I have bought the other version? And who do I think this is for? Because those are kind of like my whole review thing. I tried to be quick going through this to kind of do it. All right, so am I glad I bought this? I'm really freaking glad I bought it. I got basically a 20% discount because I got it for $4.99 for day one. It's freaking rad. I plan to use this 100% for incline press. Probably most of my overhead press, I switch between Viking press and overhead press. Most of my overhead press probably as a variation of bench, probably as an alternative to my belt squat for squats if it doesn't bother my back. It didn't this week, so that's positive. Potentially for Romanian deadlift, I don't know, I might just do regular barbell for that, and definitely for calf raises. So like, I'm gonna get a lot of use out of this for $500. The more I use the unit, the more I'm appreciating it, and I'm like, oh wow, this is really cool. I've heard that the founder, Larry, is working on like a quick snap version of these hooks, which will be kind of cool if they come out, so you can like snap it on really quick to switch barbells. I really do think if you're buying this, like plan on just using the same barbell and not taking these off. Do I regret that I did not get the heavy version? Not for 1 second. The big advantage of the heavy version is ISO. So using one arm at a time, that's not something I'm ever gonna do. I really just needed a Smith machine. I got tons of cables for single arm work. I just really needed a Smith machine. I did not need the heavy version. I'm glad I didn't buy it. I would have had to take the upright off. I've heard some things about the heavy version, not enough to make a judgment about it, but I haven't heard any problems with the light version. I've heard like some little issues with the heavy version. Whether they're true or not or widespread, I don't know. So it doesn't really matter. Some things I don't like about this and who I don't think it's for. I don't like the weight, but I'm not really sure how to cut it down. There are these side things which look like they're for an attachment, and if I took these off, I might shave off like 4 to 5 pounds. I would totally like saw these off if I knew like how much it would really take off, because I care more about the weight than having like an attachment piece thing. I don't know what this little side thing right here is for. So there is that. And the reason that's problematic is not that I care that it's 75 pounds, it's just that it becomes more awkward to move around. Like my safety squat bar is a pain because it's like 63 pounds or something. I like having a barbell to move around, and now with this, it's like 30 more pounds. It like gets to this point where like now my wife can't really use it because it's a little too heavy. So I think if you're like a lighter person and do light weights, this is probably like not a device for you, because it starts at 75 pounds, and that's 75 pounds of real weight. It's not like that's what it feels like. It's heavy. So just know that. Not a big deal for big, heavy movements and stuff like that, but just think you should know that. So I am really glad I bought it. I am really glad I pre-ordered. Are there any concerns I have about like long-term use of this thing? So I only have one. And that is, so first of all, this device is engineered like great. Like there's so many screws, it's kind of like crazy. There's so many like options and things to mess around with. My only one concern is, will the rollers, because they're plastic, how long are they going to last for? They may last forever, I have no idea, but like, are they going to? Do they wear away as this like wheels up and down? I start to look at like some long-term reviews of the Bully-Proof glider to see like how long their plastic lasts on their rollers, but like, I don't know. Maybe it'll last a year, maybe 6 months, maybe 30 years. I have no idea, but it's just something I thought about, like how long is this gonna last for? I do think there's definitely like a bit of you gotta be a little cautious using it, like making sure that your hooks are in, and that's with any Smith machine, you gotta do that. So it's not just this, but you gotta make sure that your hooks are in, and you really do need some kind of like spotter with like band pegs or safety, whatever your spotter is. I really like the band pegs with this. I'm really happy, like it is a really freaking cool device. If I was on the fence about buying this, would I probably go out and buy it? I'd probably be kicking myself for not taking the pre-order and getting the 20% off at $4.99. That's my honest opinion on it, because it's really cool, like it works. I mean, I used a Smith machine for most of my exercises this week. It was pretty freaking rad. So I thought that was cool. Those are my list of advantages and disadvantages. I think that's everything. The specialty bars was kind of disappointing that none of them fit on my rack. I'd love to see an option for those to fit somehow. I don't know what that is, but it'd be super cool if that could happen at some point. They're not. I mean, I could change the width of my rack. I'm not doing that for a specialty bar. I didn't care that much. But just be aware that, that your specialty bars may not fit. So, all right, y'all, that's my initial impression of the VTS Lite. I could talk more about this for like 20 more minutes, but I just wanted to give you like the general overview scheme of what I thought. All right, y'all, later.